What's up, guys? How about that big LaMelo Ball trade? LaMelo Ball coming to Minnesota in a trade package with Josh Green, Naz Reid coming over to Charlotte, 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. What a crazy, unexpected trade. And not a lot of people expected this trade to happen, but LaMelo Ball was the player to get moved. There was rumors about Ja Morant possibly going to Minnesota, but in all reality, LaMelo Ball should be a pretty good fit for Minnesota. He's a great offensive guard, and he's going to provide a lot of sparks through the playmaking aspect for the Minnesota Timberwolves and a lot of scoring, especially hitting those three-pointers that the Timberwolves could very well need, especially to impact the game offensively. Anthony Edwards finally got that another all-star player. Julius Randle just wasn't cutting it. He had a lot of lackful playoff experiences, and he just didn't shine when the Timberwolves needed him most in the playoffs. And now Anthony Edwards gets LaMelo Ball. Should be a very fun duo to watch, and they are going to shake up the NBA. I mean, this is going to be a dominant offensive duo. When it comes to the scoring of Anthony Edwards, he doesn't have to work on being ball dominant all the time. LaMelo Ball can dominate the ball, and then getting Anthony Edwards open is going to become so much easier with LaMelo Ball in that backcourt, and that's going to only improve his game and going to make it easier for Anthony Edwards to excruciate the defense. And it's just a matter of whether their scoring can outlie their defense, because LaMelo Ball doesn't provide great defense on the defensive end. But now, since with Minnesota under Chris Finch, his defense should be able to step up a little bit, and I think it's actually going to improve a little bit, so it's not going to be a big concern. I don't imagine this Timberwolves team to be championship contenders, but they are most certainly going to be dangerous for the NBA, and a lot of teams are going to have trouble guarding those two, especially when LaMelo Ball is hot. And there's been times where he could be inconsistent, but I mean, if he's got it going, there's nothing you could do. And I don't think any team could really outscore that, especially if those two are playing hot and getting into a groove. LaMelo Ball dishing it out, getting in the paint, drawing the double team. Anthony Edwards in the corner for a nice, sweet three-pointer, maybe a pump fake fadeaway mid-range. That's deadly right there. And thinking of Ayo Dosunmu, his defensive impact is going to become more critical for this Timberwolves team. They have a lot of trust in him. He proved himself in the playoffs, having a 43-point game. That was extraordinary. And Jaden McDaniels most certainly earned his spot with his progression that he's had. Averaged around 14 points per game, but had a very efficient season, 51% from the field. And that's something the Timberwolves are going to need to rely on. If they can get some more 3-and-D guys and a good defensive backcourt to pile up on that bench, maybe get somebody else to pair along with Mike Conley and just provide some more defense, I think this team is going to be in high regard to be successful. But man, it's a matter of how much more can they get out of Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley, and they're both getting up there in age. And I just don't think the Western Conference is just so competitive now with the Spurs, and Oklahoma City Thunder have been making some moves. Denver Nuggets, they're still going to be a problem. And I think it's just going to be a matter of that front court. And as much as Rudy Gobert's defense is great, their defense is not going to be able to execute enough in the playoffs. And that's why I have them as a lower tier playoff team, but a great regular season team, most certainly. Because we've seen with the Lakers, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, LeBron, they provide great offense, but LeBron James getting older, their defense is kind of lackluster at times. The Lakers sure need a center, need DeAndre Ayton, and then looking at the Charlotte Hornets, they get that future potential in the draft picks from Minnesota. They can draft some big rookies working on that whole future. They got Con Knipple, who's going into his second season. Brandon Miller, who's very young. He's got some superstar potential, and he's got great scoring. And the Hornets, this is not a bad trade for Charlotte, as much as people want to see him. And now they just get more potential and more draft prospects in the works. And it's just building up more of a future to solidify their spot. They feel like they're not at that tipping point yet, but they're still going to work there so they solidify their spot in the NBA. And I give them credit for that. Those are big moves coming from the Charlotte Hornets. I think Naz Reid will do a pretty good job filling in that stretch 4 position, hitting them 3-pointers, and his defense is underrated. He'll be able to work that pick and pop with Kobe White. Kobe White recently got a contract extension. And honestly, Kobe White is very impactful on the offensive end. He could shoot like LaMelo Ball, and he's got some great shots. He can shoot over anybody sometimes. And the amount of speed that he progressed, he'll work great in Charlotte next season. I imagine the Hornets are going to be a little worse than last season. I think they're taking a little step down, and it is a good grade for Minnesota, a good trade for Minnesota. But, I mean, this is a matter of time of how all this chemistry unfolds. You never know what's going to happen. And the big question is, can LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards stay healthy? We'll see about that. But hope you guys enjoy this video. Remember to subscribe on the way to 1,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone for me. I've been working for a long time. But see you guys in the next one. Peace out.